pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we always do, remain standing, and if I ever forget a name, if someone knows of a name, just yell it out. But we lost two residents, Winnie G. and Gina Perry. And if we could remember the folks in the hurricane of Harvey, and then the new one that's coming. Thank you. Public comment on agenda items. Mayor's comments. I have some for the end of the meeting, but just two quick ones right now. The village board wants to wish Mrs. Matthews, Sergeant Matthews, who passed away not long ago. His wife lives up there in the house where they both lived for decades, years and years, and she has turned 99 years old. So I was thinking if the village board could sing happy birthday, and then I thought, no, we'll just say happy birthday.
Good choice.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. There you go. I have received several phone calls since Friday downstairs and at home about the gas prices. So the only thing I can say, and I know village board members have heard too, I was actually taken back. I had gotten gas there Friday morning. It was $2.89. And in the afternoon when I rode by, it was $3.15. It's quite a jump. So I know that Assemblyman Skoufis looked at this not long ago, and he was told by the Attorney General that it was not gouging, that basically gouging is when there's a storm event, a blizzard, a hurricane, and then all of a sudden the prices go up. That's gouging, and we know that. And as citizens, private citizens, residents here, we could say he's gouging, but that's not, the technicality is he's not. So, the only thing I can think of is a few things. We can go down there. Well, first of all, we don't have to buy gas there. I try to buy as little as I can there because of the price. So we don't have to buy gas. You can buy a little and get you over the mountain. It's terrible to say that. We could pick it. We could pick it. We could meet with the owner, which I'm thinking about doing, and I'll let the board know if that can be, if I set that up.
That would be good.
Yeah. So that's some suggestions, and I'll wait to hear from the public, but as I'm hearing, I think I'll set a meeting up with the owner. It's high. It's high. So that's those comments. New business, to approve the minutes. You have minutes, 3 sets of minutes. We met on the 21st of August, we met on the 25th of August, and we met on the 30th of August. I have reviewed the minutes. I find no fault, but when you're ready to make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is the authorization for the mayor to sign an annual certification of a 5-year plan for the Public Housing Authority that certifies compliance with the federal regulations for Section 8 program. This is an annual, I think, yeah, that's it right there. It's authorizing me, the mayor, to sign this, and which has to really be done, to be honest with you.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Murphy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next we have from the fire chief, Eric Smith. He went out for some RFPs, recommendations for scuba equipment, and you have there in front of you. There were two bids, $89,166.40, and the other one was $97,520. So obviously, he's recommending, after research, the low bid, $89,166.40. And this money, the good news is that this money is actually in a reserve that they've been building for the last few years to buy specifically this scuba equipment.
Oh, may I correct it? It's not scuba gear, it's self-contained breathing apparatus. It's
Right.
what interior firefighters wear going into fires. And this is a whole new generation of equipment. The tanks run for 45 minutes. It's life-saving equipment that is absolutely necessary to the firematic team.
Thank you, Charlie. So if we could approve the equipment purchase, which again, the money is there.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee
Joe,
Liz.
you also want to make sure, I think he's asking you to make sure he can sign the contract, if that's something that's possible.
Okay, so the motion should read that to allow the fire department to purchase the breathing apparatus for $89,166.40, for which is in reserve, and that Eric Smith, the fire chief, sign the paperwork.
Yes. Thank you.
Is that okay for the motion, guys?
That's what they're.
Okay, so I have a motion, trustee Lizzie, second by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a budget amendment with the fire department. One of the cars had a minor accident, and the repairs came to $5,227.99. Fire department paid for the damages. Now the insurance company has reimbursed us the exact amount of $5,227.99. And this is a motion to put it back into fire department contractual part of their budget. So whereas the insurance recovery has been received from Alternate Service Concept LLC, and whereas this revenue has been designated to offset the cost of the repairs to the fire chief's vehicle, a 2008 Dodge Durango. Now, therefore, be it resolved that due to unanticipated revenues from Alternative Service Concept LLC, the Board of Trustees approves the amendment to increase the appropriation budget .3410.0400 Fire Department contractual for $5,227.99, and the revenue code of A2680 insurance recoveries for the same amount for the fiscal year 17-18. May I have a motion? Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard,
Aye.
trustee Livesey,
Aye.
trustee Ramus,
Aye.
trustee Murphy,
Aye.
Mayor Denafio.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next we have a request to use Roe Park for the first annual Town of Highlands Police Department is going to versus the Highland Falls Police Department softball game. It'll be at Roe Park on Sunday, September the 17th at 3 p.m. So it'd be nice to come out and support these guys and ladies. This is their event form here, but we still need to approve.
Question, is the insurance provided by the town?
I believe so, only because I know Aaron was involved in this.
With that
So the motion,
understanding-
Charlie, let's put that, good question. So let's put that in the motion that we'll approve this date and time for the use of Roe Park, providing the insurance coverage is held by the town of Highlands, holding the village. Okay, Gina?
Mhm.
So Charlie, that's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have Homecoming Parade, October the 9th. Remember, we were talking about 4th of July, weeks before the 4th of July. Now we're doing, now it's October.
All
So-
the paperwork is in order. I would love to make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All, you have it, Gene? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Did you say something?
Thank you.
Oh.
3 times.
Next, we have our regular monthly, not monthly, twice a month, notice of violations, and in order to remedy, we have 2 overgrown properties. One is 117 Center Street, and one is 1610 Route 9W, which is the Point Echo Motel. 1610 Route 9W is the Point Echo Motel, which is in not good shape. Both for the same reason. They were both notified. So I'll open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here representing 117 Center or 1610 Route 9W? Whereas a long-standing violations of the Village Property Maintenance Law, Chapter 170 of the Village of Hunt Falls Code has existed at 117 Center Street and at 1610 Route 9W, designated on the tax matters. Whereas the property owner or owners have been given due notice of said violations and have been directed to correct the violations. And whereas the property owner or owners were given due notice of a public hearing to be held by the Board of Trustees on September the 5th, 2017 at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violations had been properly remedied and whether to order that corrective action be undertaken by the village to correct said violations at the property owner's cost and expense, to bill said cost and expense to the property owner, and to levy same against the property. And whereas the public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on September the 5th, 2017, and whereas the owner or owners did not appear, and whereas the owner or owners have not taken steps to correct the violations, and the violations still exist, and whereas the Board of Trustees authorizes pursuant to Section 170-6 of the Property Maintenance Law to authorize that the village undertake to remedy such violations at the property owner's cost and expense. Now therefore be it resolved that the village, its contractors, or agents shall enter upon the property to correct the violations, and that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative, legal, corrective costs, be charged to the property owner, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification to the last known address of the property owner as shown on the village tax records. So a motion would be required to start this process.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey. Is there a
Second.
Trustee Howard, all in favor? Opposed? Motion. Thank you. I have bills and claims. Thank you.
Wait till you vote on it.
It's a typical thing that you do in a property ordinance.
Okay, so we'll do roll call.
And you have it in the resolutions, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll do roll call.
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Denocoli?
Aye. Motion carried. Excuse me. We have bills and claims for fiscal year 17-18 of $126,132.42.
I will move that we pay all bills, but I do want to note for our audience that $35,374.98 is the school tax charged to the village for our water supply up at Bog Meadow. And the school board has not released us from that tax obligation, which they should.
Okay, thank you, Charlie, you're so right. So, so motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Murphy, is there a second? Trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. One more thing here, and this just came in before we came upstairs about an hour ago. So, this is the Holland Falls Fire Department. The village pays rent. We own the trucks, they own the building. There was a 3-year contract for rent. But last year, for whatever reason, only 1 year was paid, and that's what when the lease was drawn up, they only included last year, and they were paid. But now, it's due again. So, what I would like to do, this is the contract that was negotiated. This is a 1% raise each year, 1%. It's not, no, I guess you have to expect 1%. So this is what we already paid. We paid this, 16, 17, we paid $24,840 plus $250, which comes out to $25,090. Now this year, we owe them 1% more, $25,340. So I would like a motion that we pay this for fiscal year 17-18, and that, Charlie, I give you this paperwork, and that you go back and see if these 2 years can be written up in a contract. In other words, including the third year.
I thought they were.
Well, they're not. This is the contract from last year, and it only has 1 year in it. It was negotiated for 3.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'd be happy to ask them for a contract, although I thought we had one.
No.
Gina, we definitely don't have anything on file?
Just the 1 year that was approved.
Are there minutes of any kind or correspondence
Well,
of any kind
yeah.
They
that
did agree to
talks
this.
about 3
Yeah.
years? Is that, you document that anywhere, other than?
I don't know who negotiated it. I don't know.
I think I did.
So you just did that with them, though. You don't have minutes or anything, no.
Do you have any correspondence in anything back and forth?
Joe McCormick provided me with something in writing, but it's no more than what the mayor has in his hand.
So if I could have a motion to pay this year's,
I would,
which is a 1% increase, and the number is $25,340. That would be the motion. And then if you could take this and see if we could get a contract for the one we're going to hopefully approve tonight, and then next year.
At the same 1% or? at the
Yeah.
same price?
yes, it's.
No, it's a
Same
1% raise
1%.
each year.
And I'll second her motion.
Okay, so we have a motion.
From
Charlie, you made the motion?
Yes.
Did you make the motion? Trustee Murphy and second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The Senior Citizen Center, the old KSC Hall, is under renovations. As soon as you open the door, you're right into where the renovations are. So I'm asking that no one go in there except contractors. Us, if you want to go by and look, but in particular seniors at this point, because there's a lot of open areas and tiles that are up and it's not safe. So if we could just stay out of there, it would be the thing to do, okay? But if you want to go by there and see what's going on. I'm gonna save my stuff. Okay, Mr. Al? Anything?
Yeah, school is open, so I would like to remind people about driving safely, especially on Church and Muller. You're coming up, there's a big stop sign in Muller. People are not stopping there. We've got little kids from the apartment. You gotta drive careful. After school kids are out. Same with Mountain Avenue. You know, the middle school kids, I know there's a sidewalk there, but not all of them adhere to that. So please drive carefully. Same with our elementary school down here. It's back to school now, so the changing habits need to change. Thank you.
Very good. Is anyone from the chamber here?
here from the chamber.
Secretary.
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm speaking more as a resident. I love the art that's going around the community, the sculptures and everything. But I haven't seen anything in Fort Montgomery. And let me just finish that. And being that I do art, I noticed that the last piece, which is, out of my opinion, probably one of the nicest pieces I've seen, and I don't say this out of any disrespect at all, and I say that on the record, no disrespect at all. But I see that you finally have the Indian on the horse. Why the location where it was? Why it's like next to a U-Haul sign tucked into the bushes? And to be quite honest with you, it's just, this is my opinion, I'm sorry if anybody gets upset. I think it's a very bad location. I love the supermarket, I'm there every day. It's a great supermarket for the community. But there's places like one I was saying, like if you, with schools that we are the Red Raiders, there's, when you go over the bridge, there's the cliff up on top. If they were to put a cement base there and have it up on top of there, which would be nice, or somewhere but tucked into that spot. I just don't think that's such a beautiful piece. Why there?
Actually, you're right. It would be much better up at O'Neill.
It would be like,
Because it's part of that.
right where the road goes up on O'Neill, you have that cliff there, and there's like a little ledge.
Could I comment?
Yes.
Two things. I know the co-chairs of the Art Walk have approached the town about extending into Fort Montgomery. That particular, well, the other larger issue is the Art Walk is, what do they call it? Can't think of the term of art, but collaborative concepts, curates, that's the phrase I was thinking of, the actual artwork pieces, and it's a juried show. There are two pieces on display on village property by that same artist who is Ed McElroy. The particular statue that you're talking about is on private property at the owner is cooperating. We didn't have anything to do with that site selection, but I actually disagree with you. I think between those plum trees, it looks really good.
I just don't think,
Or is that something private?
It's private.
That's what I thought. Okay, so that's what I thought. I saw it, I was driving down the street the other day and I go, I never saw that there before. And you can tell it's on private property. It's on the marketplace's property. And number two, and this was only a thought until I had this thought and you just verified it. It's not part of their show.
It's in
so
addition.
and this is, again, I want to make this clear. I love the
Right.
supermarket, I love Albert and his wife. This has nothing to do about that. But, it's going to get blasted by the plow truck when he goes by. And that worries me. But the other thing is, it's such a nice, fine piece of art that's sort of like, was that bought then, or was that because it's on private property? I mean,
It was an agreement between the artist and property owner. But going to
but
your
wasn't it
point
originally,
about the
wasn't it
Red Raiders,
originally said to go down into Fort Montgomery?
That particular
Not that
stuff?
I-
No.
Could it is a chamber-sponsored event? Could I speak? Stand over here. I'm Barbara Minetti, the secretary of the chamber. This is really a growing event, for one thing. So it's a work in progress, Merv. As Charlie just said, she has been a member of the Art Walk last year. And for previous years, getting it going, yes. We have the beautiful sculpture down at Thayer Gate. That was a major effort to kick it off. The one last year was even bigger, and this one is even bigger. The limit of what we've been able to do so far has been, in some ways, defined by funding. the two.
But Barbara, let's just get to this.
Okay,
We don't,
okay,
that,
well.
I just want to
You don't
know,
need
I just
that.
want to know
Okay.
why that can't go down. It was actually in Fort Montgomery, across from the mobile station.
It was.
That's actually an Indian cemetery.
Next
You know that?
year, yes, I do, I absolutely do. It began as a small concept of art walking. And so within the structure of what we could do, it's more compact and visible if it's in an area that's walkable. Of course, the chamber is committed to our joint vision as a community. And as Charlie just said, the two workhorses in the art committee for the chamber have already approached the town to see if next year we do want to extend it out there. Now, and here, this would dovetail with another point I was gonna make. The efforts to bring this about cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So there are grant opportunities available for the village and the town to collaborate on. Moving one of these pieces of artwork can cost $50,000, depending on what it's made of, where it's going, what the base has to be, insurance, all sorts of concerns. So this is a very expensive endeavor too. So when we do it, we just want to make sure our vision is present, and that's the bang for the buck this year.
okay, thank you.
I just,
I don't know.
I just think a piece like that, where it is, and that's, I think a very nice piece like that, should be represented more in an open area. And again, the trucks are gonna destroy it when they go by. And that bothers me a lot. What's that? And the other thing is, it's just, the spot that it is, it should be more than just an open spot. And again, this has nothing to do with the supermarket, I'm a little disappointed seeing that in there. If you remember back in the 70s, there used to be an old commercial about littering. It was an Indian walking through the woods, and then he got up to the road and seen a litter roll over the road. That's sort of what that reminds me of. That's just myself. Anyway, go ahead.
Mr. Jim?
Yeah, I got just a couple quick things.
No.
I stopped out at James Scoot's office and inquired about some grant money for the sidewalks that was discussed in the beginning of the year. They're going to get back in touch with me on that. I also discussed a few other grants out there, and they did send me some information on NYSERDA that I'm going to share with the board about some LED lighting. On another note, we had a sewer trunk line clogged recently, this past week, and I would just caution the residents to be aware of what the children may flush down the toilets, because that costs us all taxpayer dollars when we have to have a company come in and jet back that out. So just please be aware of that. That's all I got.
What kind of items do children put down the toilet?
Plenty of
Yes.
ideas.
Yes, I have an answer.
Hannah used to flush My Little Pony ponies.
My Little Pony, what is it? It's a toy?
Ponies.
You can't put Elmo in it.
The older you get, the less you know. Right, Mr. Howard?
Yeah. No, that's all right, that's all right. It's
He's
on-
gonna get me, I
it's-
know.
No, it's on TV.
Yeah.
You're a lawyer, right? That's all. We'll talk later.
Oh my God. Public comment? Yes.
Martha Allward, Highland Falls. I'll try to save you some money. Those of you who travel to Rockland, Costco has the lowest price gas around. You do not have to be a member to buy gas or to use their pharmacy, both of which are extremely low compared to others. You cannot use cash, you can only use a Visa card or a debit card. But when it was $3.15, when it changed up here the other day, I paid $2.39. So just,
Yeah,
but you will wait, and I hesitate saying this because you're gonna make my wait longer, but if you're traveling down there, and you use a lot of gas, it's kind of.
It's high. It's
Oh, wait a
high.
minute, we paid two.
It's always been high, my whole life here, but now it's a
We
little,
paid $3.10 in New Jersey yesterday,
how much?
$3.10,
Wow.
because Jersey now has taxes.
See, I would have thought it would be less.
No, you can't.
Not anymore.
Your
Those days are
tax-
gone?
They added taxes about 6 months ago.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Bonnie Snow, 41 Fort Putnam, Highland Falls, New York. I have a small request. I live on the corner of Drew, so then I go up Drew and you get up to, what is it, west, and you kind of go around the turn and you kind of go up like this, and then, okay, you were kind enough 18, 19 years ago to put up that mirror. But the mirror is only effective really for coming down that hill. So just picture this, because you won't want to be behind me when I drive. I'm on Clytes, I get to the corner and I honk, because I've almost been hit 4 times in the last 2 months. I get to the corner, I honk. Then I go around. You can't go on this side because there's always 2 cars parked. You kind of get to the end and I look in the mirror, but there's always someone coming up. And it's unbelievable. I've spoken with the police chief. He told me to speak to Gary Boyce. I spoke with Gary. You can't put lines down the center because the road is too narrow. So the only thing that I could think of is maybe a sign that says, slow down oncoming traffic, at least one for going up the hill. Now, I understand that if people don't look at a stop sign, maybe they don't look at the yellow sign that says, slow down oncoming traffic. However, I've almost been hit 4 times. I asked Gary how much it would cost. He said it would cost a couple $100, because I know money is,
Are we talking about a mirror?
no, we're talking about
Sign.
sign.
What happened to the mirror?
The mirror is still there, but when you come up the hill, you can't look
Yeah, but
over
what-
at the mirror. When you're coming up that hill, you can't
There's
look to
no
the
other way
right.
we can position another mirror?
You know what, I gotta tell you, I don't think, listen, I'm anal, so I look at the mirror coming down. But honestly, I don't think people are gonna look at, I don't even know if people nowadays know what the mirror's for, to be quite honest with you. I just think a sign that says, slow down oncoming
Okay,
traffic,
chief, get together with Gary and get a sign order.
you know, at least
And-
going
And
up.
I'm not, then it's up to you, and it's up to you
What it
to,
says,
where the position should go.
okay, I know
Okay.
what Bonnie's talking about.
I know money, if I'm not hit, it'll be someone else, and it'll be a
No.
really bad accident.
It's
It'll
an
be
easy
head-on.
fix. I'm not saying, it's an easy thing for us to do, I'm not sure it's a fix like you're
It may
saying.
not be a
People
fix
do not
because-
pay attention to
You
signs.
know,
I
for
don't
a
know
while
why.
I thought that machine that shows the speed, but you know what,
No.
it's a stupid place.
Gary, Chief, see Gary, order the sign, and you guys figure out where to position it.
One last comment, that $30,000 that the school board hasn't let us, and maybe I'm not privy to why they won't, but you know, they tax us a lot, so really, they should let us out of it, and I don't know what you guys gotta do, but I know you could do something.
Well, we've been asking every year for a very long time, and we shouldn't stop.
No, don't, so,
No taxing authority, of course, wants to give up tax revenue. I understand that. We're a small community, and so someone's gonna make up that 30.
yeah.
You know, I don't know how much of that would be really felt, but we're on it.
Thank
We're
you
on it.
also for the prayer that I walked in late on. I have 3 family members down in Florida. My sister's got 10 horses and kids and stuff, and it's like, they're scared. They're really scared.
They should, it's not gonna be pretty. It's strong. Okay, yeah.
So in the past, Ms. Snow, I did ask about the school tax, and it was mentioned that, like the mayor said, it would have to be made up somewhere else. And my point was, right now, only the village residents are paying that $30,000.
That was spread.
Right, so if they were to, and they still have to make it up, and I understand they have to make that up in their budget, but if it was spread out in the school budget, then the entire township would be helping to pay that extra $30,000 instead of just the village residents. Because all of the residents in the whole town use the school, and it would just be fair, because they do get the water from us too. So I brought that point up, and that's about where it got so far, and that's where we are.
Another point to add on to that, we just approved spending $89,000 for equipment for the fire department. We go to calls at the two schools very, very frequently. It would be nice if the school would help us pay for the firematic equipment under the circumstances.
I will set up a meeting. I'll set up a meeting with the president of the board and us, all right? And the tax bills are out now, so there's nothing we can do, but now is the perfect time to start to lobby for this cause for next year. Perfect timing. Not
Give it another
perfect,
shot.
but, yeah, okay? So, meeting,
Especially because
reference.
if impact aid is affected, we may get taxed more. So,
You know
needs
what?
to be shared.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything, yeah?
Just like to report on some good things. First of all, Trustee Ramos, thank you for going to Assemblyman Scoofus's office and speaking about LED lighting. If you all recall, earlier this year, the previous board passed a resolution to become part of the New York State Clean Energy Communities Program. And we had talked about ideas such as benchmarking, training, getting the electric vehicle charging station, the Solarize campaign that's now ending, LED lighting. And the more of these, specifically there are 10 items we can accomplish. And the more we accomplish, we are able to apply for bigger and bigger grants through NYSERDA. So to be investigating that is a good thing, and it could, just bring back into the fold this whole effort to do clean energy stuff. So thank you for that. And also the sidewalks. I had spoken to him earlier this year, and so it's good to get back on that. Then just comments on lots of good stuff that's happening in September. First of all, I went to the Buffalo Soldiers banquet yesterday. I'm a member of the Buffalo Soldiers Association, and yesterday was the first commemoration of Sergeant Saunders Matthews Day. And it was the previous mayor and the previous board that instituted September 4th every year as a day to commemorate that former police officer and brave individual in serving the country and serving our community and bringing about social diversity in difficult circumstances, and a remarkable human being. So that was a wonderful celebration yesterday, and former Mayor Flynn received an award because he led the effort to institute Sergeant Saunders Matthews Day. So let's see, second, the center, they will be celebrating their third anniversary on September 23rd, Saturday, at an open house. So if everybody would come to that and support the great work they're doing, it's amazing, with just all volunteer. Thirdly, a couple of chamber events. First of all, we're having our second annual Chalk Fest. Every year things get bigger and bigger and better, so this will be the second event. That will be on September 16th in Lot 2. Lots of fun for children and adults, so if you can come out and support, that would be great. Then also on the 16th, I'll flip sponsorship a little bit real quick. This is an EDC, it's the Solarize event I just mentioned. This campaign is having one last event to, well, it's at the John and Tricia Willis's house at 55 Rose Drive on the 16th from 11 to 2. They will open their property for you to look at their operational solar energy at their home and talk about the benefits. And their solar installer will be there to talk about the technology and benefits of solar energy. So that's on the 16th too. Then back to the chamber for a second. The meeting is tomorrow at 4 o'clock at the Thayer Gate Deli if you'd like to come. We are having a representative from the Accelerator. And this is a vision that's powered by the Orange County Industrial Development Agency. And there's going to be talk about the possible concept idea of using the elementary school as a business incubator to help new businesses start in the community. So that's tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Thayer Gate Deli. Now flipping back. Oh, okay, lastly, it's that time of year where the networking and opportunities start for next year. And I will be going to it's called Water Group Conversation, and it's going to be sponsored by Department of Environmental Conservation and other groups in the Mid-Hudson Valley. And it's a group, it's just an open conversation right now, but it's talking about everything from water safety, water sharing, water resources, grants, recreational use for water, and it stands to include our water sources here and the development of the marina. So I'm going to be going as a representative of the EDC, and I'm going to be networking and interested in grant opportunities, and of course be willing to work with the village board, but it's a good opportunity for networking. And then also the next day, there's going to be a Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Corporation public meeting in Brewster. And this is the first invitation for that after the grant cycle for this year. And that's also a very important opportunity which we've been taking advantage of for networking and opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anything further from anyone? If not, I would like to have a motion to go into executive session on a personnel matter. Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second? Second by trustee Livesey, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you folks for coming.